Hey, what is up everyone? Chris Harvey here. Welcome to my channel and thanks so much for checking out this video, where today I'll be talking about all the essential pedals that you'll need to play the blues. If you are new around here and you're only checking out my channel now for the first time, then do consider hitting that subscribe button. I post weekly content every Tuesday about all things guitar related, so if that sounds like something that you're into, then make sure that you follow along and ring the bell to get notified when I upload. So maybe you've clicked on this video because you're interested in learning about guitar solos and what is the best pedal to use to nail those classic blues guitar sounds. And I've got you covered. The first and most iconic of those is going to be the Ibanez Tube Screamer. Now, the Tube Screamer was first produced in the 1970s and that was TS-808. It's a pedal that you've probably seen on a million different pedal boards, and all of the greats have used this pedal over the years. In the early 80s, the TS-808 was revamped and the TS-9 came out, and then later into the mid-80s there was the TS-10, which is the Tube Screamer that is used most famously by John Mayer. Now, all of these Tube Screamers have a very similar characteristic. They're all very mid-focused. Now, what that means is that in the frequency response of the Overdrive, there's a lot of emphasis in the mid-range. Mid-range is what gives your guitar that really punchy sound, and it helps you cut through a mix, which is why the Tube Screamer has become so iconic over the years. Now, a ton of different manufacturers have replicated a Tube Screamer, so you can basically Google Ibanez Tube Screamer clone and you'll find hundreds of different pedals. The Tube Screamer pedal that I have is the Trex Alberta. This is a Tube Screamer style overdrive. It has a very mid-focused presence, which I really enjoy, but this is just a slightly different take. And I definitely encourage you all to explore these different options just to find the one that's right for you. So let's hear what a Tube Screamer sounds like. So we've looked at a Tube Screamer, but what other pedals could you consider? Well, a lot of people like a slightly cleaner sound. Not everybody wants those searing overdrive tones. So a low gain overdrive pedal is probably going to be a better option, and that's going to give you more of a clean boost. Now, a great pedal for that was the Klon-Style, a real icon in the early 90s, designed by Bill Finnegan, and between 1994 and the year 2000, around 8,000 units were sold. The company then went out of business, Bill stopped producing the pedal, and then the prices skyrocketed. Now, so many pros have used a Klon-Style over the years. It is again a very, very distinctive sound, and most people tend to set their Klon-Styles to be a fairly clean boost. Now, so many pedal manufacturers have done their iconic take on this legendary pedal, and so many of them really nail that sound. I use the Wampler Tumnus. Now, in a recent video from the guys at Anderton's, they did a shootout of all of the Klon-Style replicas out there, and the Tumnus came out on top as being the closest to the original, which makes me pretty happy. So let's hear what the Klon-Style sounds like in a blues solo. Now, the final category of overdrive is often referred to as the transparent overdrive. Now, with the transparent overdrives, what that basically means is that the actual EQ curve of the overdriven sound is basically in line with your guitar and your amp. So it's not actually colouring the sound, no frequencies are being boosted or cut in any dramatic way, and that just enables you to basically retain the sound of your rig. So if you love the sound of your amp and your guitar, but you just want to add a little bit of drive to that, then a transparent overdrive could be a great option for you. There are a couple that I have on my pedal board. I have the Nobels ODR. Again, this was a really popular pedal amongst a lot of the session guitarists. I did a video on this on my channel a couple of weeks ago, so you can go and check that out. Or you might find something like the JHS Morning Glory, which is a recreation of the famous Marshall Bluesbreaker pedal, which was made famous by, of course, John Mayer. Now, both of these pedals will give you that really transparent drive sound. In this particular video, I'm going to show you what the Nobels ODR sounds like, but there are a ton of different demos out there where you can explore the myriad of different transparent overdrives on the market. So we've looked at overdrive pedals, but what else might you want to consider? Well, if you don't want an overdrive pedal, say you want a slightly different sound, then fuzz might be something that you want to explore. It's not a pedal that I use personally, but I guess most famously, fuzz was used by Jimi Hendrix back in the 60s when he used his famous fuzz face pedal, and it's just a really raunchy sound, and that might be something that you're into. So if that is the case, then there are definitely a load of pedals in that area that you can explore. The fuzz face, again, has been recreated nowadays by Dunlop, but there are so many. You could think of the Tone Bender, which was maybe more famously used by people like Jimmy Page, but really the options are endless in the world of fuzz. So we've talked about overdrive and fuzz, but there are other types of pedals that you might want to consider in the realms of modulation. Delay is a really common one because delay can really help add depth to your guitar solos. A lot of really famous guitarists will often use what we call a slapback delay to fatten their sound. This is a delay with a really short delay time and often just one or two repeats, so it's almost like a reverb. Iconic blues guitarists such as Josh Smith and Matt Schofield both use slapback to great effect, and they are pretty loyal advocates of that particular sound. Again, delay pedals can be fairly affordable. On my pedal board, I have the Walrus Audio ARP87. It can do a slapback, it can do longer delays, and if that's something that you want to explore, there are some really affordable options and of course some more high-end options for you to look at. But that will definitely help you recreate some of those iconic guitar sounds. And if you're not entirely happy with the kind of reverb in your amp and you just want to add a little bit of extra depth to your sound, then delay can be a great option. Now, a final pedal that I think is definitely worth mentioning is what we would call a Leslie or possibly a Univibe, and this is just going to be the kind of warbly stuff I would kind of class it as. Now, a Leslie or a rotating speaker pedal is basically a pedal that replicates the famous rotating speaker cabinets that people used to attach to their Hammond organs. Guitarists started to incorporate these into their rigs. Stevie Ray Vaughan was a really famous example of this, and he'd use a rotating speaker along with his amps to create that almost kind of organ sound. Now, so many pedal manufacturers have put this sound into a small enclosure at an affordable price. So if you're wanting to recreate some of those kind of organ or rotating speaker sounds from iconic players such as Stevie Ray Vaughan, then that is a pedal that you might want to consider. The Univibe is slightly different. It's more of a vibrato or a chorus type pedal, and this was iconically used by people like Hendrix and Robin Trower, David Gilmour. You could probably name every blues guitarist in history, and they've probably dabbled with a Univibe. Again, it's something that you would use quite iconically for maybe a lot of rhythm playing. It adds some nice character to lead guitar lines, and I think it's definitely a pedal that you should check out if you just want something a little bit different. So there we have it, guys, a brief look at the pedals that I think are essential for any blues guitarist. If you are new into the pedal world, I appreciate it can be a bit of an overwhelming place, so hopefully this has given you some direction and some things to go and take a look at. If you do have any questions, make sure to leave a comment down below. If you want any advice, I am more than happy to share it with you. And if you did enjoy the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. That's pretty much it for today, guys. So I just want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video, and I will see you all next Tuesday for another one.